I'm starting to think these people killed themselves off. Yeah. Yeah. Let's take a break before we continue. There's always a weird sort of quiet on the eve of battle. I'm feeling that now. Seems like a good time to gather our thoughts and share a drink before whatever's coming.
Right. This seems like a perfect place to stop and relax.
Though it's hard enough to tell what's real here without a belly full of drink.
Sounds like you're nervous, dearie.
I'm feeling all kinds of ways. Anxious, excited, scared, hungry.
I feel it as well. It is only mortal to feel overwhelmed in the presence of the immortal.
Oh, you don't have to worry about me. Getting to see that vision of Tama did me good. Like, I finally let go of something I'd been holding too long. Now that we're here, I'm eager to see this through. Nothing worse than holding your breath and waiting. Same. I'd rather have good company in a prison than paradise alone.
I had a feeling you might ask me that. I'm not sure I've really worked through what I've seen here, but I am grateful for the chance to see Yonku again. I feel like we're almost done with all of this, but we are in the weirdest place in the world, so who knows? I'm completely baffled, but when haven't I been lately? Being afraid doesn't even feel scary anymore.
I think so. The garden is so much more than I expected. Full of contradictions. Wild, yet serene. Truthfully, I didn't come all this way searching for my own answers. But I found them. Or perhaps they found me. And now, it's like there's a new path laid out before me. A life after the Dream Scourge. We're close to something. A threshold between calm and crisis. Conflict and peace. Life and death. So am I. None of us could have gotten this far on our own.
Well, I won't lie to you, Envoy. A lot's happened. It's not every day that you learn that you're the last hope to carry on a legacy, but... well, here we are. Never literally talked to myself before either. I think I annoyed her. Me? Oh, I think I need another drink. But here we are. I just need a moment to take it all in. Thank you, dearie. I'll be ready by the time the fun starts. And I wouldn't worry. Our little group here is perfectly frightening, and I'm sure our enemies would agree. We'll be fine. I can't speak for anyone else, though.
You've listened to all of us. How about you? You've been through a lot since you arrived. You've been shipwrecked and assassinated, harangued by gods, bureaucrats, and a death guard. You've had your soul poked, your loyalties questioned, and your sleep regularly interrupted by a god with no respect for privacy. And yet you've kept yourself and all of us together. How are you really doing?
You're very resilient. Under different circumstances, I would credit your nature as a godlike. But we all know better. You're strong enough to survive anything. Zapadal picked a good soul when they made you.
That actually made sense to me. As if I've learned something about souls and whatnot.
I'll take that as a compliment.
How about you, Envoy? What keeps you so stoic in the face of everything?
Perhaps you don't need to understand. Your natural instincts are working hard enough.
When we first met, I didn't think you'd last long. But then I saw how you handled that dream thrall bear. shook off your own death like a bad cold. And then you found your own killer and turned him in. It's rare to choose justice over vengeance, especially in the living lands. But you stood by your principles. I think that's where you get your strength.
I didn't know much about you at that point. You were traveling with Kai and you died, which I thought made a lot of sense.
I remember your calm. How you listened to my shouting match with the governor and actually heard me. You saved my city and gave me a home. A sanctuary where I could be myself. I'll never forget that.
You were my hero right away. You rescued me from those sporlings. You got my priceless vase. What more could a girl ask for?
And now look at you. Look at us. How far we've come in a short time. One crisis at a time. So much sleep.
He's right. Not to raise the sails before the anchor, but we left trouble in our wake. Fjord, Thirdborn, Solace. If we make it out of here, it won't be to a living lands suddenly at peace.
Just this once. Could we forget about the rest of the living lands? Some of us could use a break.
If we can't take a moment to ourselves on a floating island outside reality, then I don't know where we can.
Right. We could all use some beauty rest. We'll want to look our best on the battlefield, won't we?
Sleep well. Tomorrow we finish this together.
Yeah. So those green people in the garden, those weren't your parents? What do you need? Not before I've done some reading. Right. As we were... We're saying. So...
Safe to assume that the large glowing door is part of Sapidal's prison. Now, we just have to get past it.
Let's look around. There's got to be a mechanism somewhere around here.
Keep quiet. Another glorious battle. Just look at this. I've never felt so small before.
see something so badly. You take lead.
Looks like the gate's open. Well, what are we waiting for?
Keep your guard up. We gotta live to tell this tale.
Let's see what you got.
Yeah.
Come at last, after so long. You are so small. We questioned if you were real. Then steps, a voice, through armies and corrupted soil. You persevered. Now, are here. We were everywhere once, in everything. They burned us. They tore us out. We wish it could have been different. We only wanted connection. But the other gods imprisoned us, left us to suffer alone in this place. But you are here now. You found us. A sprout in the endless winter. There is little time. We would be freed from these bonds. The Strangler is close now. We feel her wire against our flesh. The fist of Empire. Her wolves defiled the city on the shore. Blood on the tile. The people's cries ring in our ears. She pierces us now. Now we will not brook this. Not again. A spark. Wait. The essence bends here. Time flows into itself. You can reach her. Will the garden to open, it will take you there. A mountain of essence. We strain, but it will move for you. We were everything. What have we lost? What multitudes could we contain? We could run, leap in the water, flourish in forgotten hills. We want nothing more than that. We mourn our past. We only seek peace now, a chance to regrow. We trust you. You who have been by our side for so long. You met death and imposed the law of mortals. It should have been better. For us. For him. We deserve mercy. All of us. Give us peace. We want a chance to change. We deserve that opportunity. Do you think we have learned nothing from you? We deserve more than this prison. Let us have a chance to rest. We want peace. Or do you have no more mercy for us than you did for the bear? The beautiful thing you killed, already you have forgotten. We asked what you would do with an animal that sickened after a fight. Do you remember what you said? More than anything, that is what we desire too. Treat us as you would the bear. Clean our wounds, heal us. Grant us the same. The time has come for you to act. End our pain, and the dream scourge will cease. Give us peace. It is all we have wanted for so long. Center your thoughts. Reach for us. Clear the fog. Tear down the gates. We were so blind, so lost. We brought such horrors to this place. We feel bright. We had forgotten what it is to live. We will grow. Tend, flower. We will always remember this. We will remember you when you are ash and soil and mulch.
Aedra's depths.
It's paradise. But what happened here?
Both places I've called home, destroyed by fire.
Are we back in Dawnshore? Already?
This is Sapadal's doing. I'm certain of it. No power in Aeora could transport us so quickly, or so far. We'll have time for that later. Assuming there is a later.
Are you seeing this? I don't think Paradise looked like this when we left it.
Looks like the war already started, and the giant roots are winning.
Marius, vines don't usually get that big this quickly, do they?
Based on their growth and size, I'd say we've been gone 2 or 3 weeks.
For once, I wish I wasn't. Who knows if the garden affected time, or merely our perception of time? Assuming there's even a difference.
It's like how a body fights an infection. The fever gives you strange dreams that feel like an eternity.
Look at this place. Feels like we're still in the dream. And not just us. Those are more your people's ships in the harbor, and steel garrote banners past the barricades. That can't be good.
Even Reingrim is here. Perhaps we'll get to see an Archmage in action.
I think I see Elia as well. What a strange reunion this will be.
The Blessed Wardens are here too. That conflict we've been trying so hard to prevent started without us. Nah, don't be so hard on yourself. The Steel Garrote have been itching for a fight this whole time. This would have happened with or without us.
Before we go, what happened back there with the Dream Scourge and Sapadal?
I'm not sure. That's good, right?
It's a relief that the Dream Scourge won't be a problem. I only hope we can say the same about Sapadal. Time will tell, I suppose.
After all this time, they're free. And the living land is free to heal.
We've cured the land, and we've even freed a caged god. All in all, rather a successful day.
Kid and God entwine. The flower shades the soil in which it grows.
We should take a look. See if we can get ahead of whatever storm is brewing down there.
People seem to be gathering west of here. Whatever's happening, let's be a part of it.
Sansa, how did you make it out here?
Guy! They marched in with no warning. I couldn't think. I just ran.
Easy. You're here now. Where did they come from?
Envoy! What does the Garrote think they're doing? What's the point of exploring if you just want to plant your flag everywhere? They broke some glass, but the map is safe. They didn't think I was worth the trouble.
Right now, that's a good thing.
If you're looking for survivors, a few of us fled to the Balrog.
How many?
I'm not sure. I saw Sapiento. Gods, I hope they're not trapped in there. I am sorry I can't be more help. You always...
We should move. Let's...
Envoy, wait! Before you go, I may have something for you. I took some supplies when I ran. If you think they'll help, they're yours. I'll even give you a discount. You know, for saving the city and everything.
Snow? Why is there snow here?
That's gotta be Ringgrim's work. I heard
she made it snow in Shatterscorp.
But why snow? A familiar face. We meet again, Envoy. And you, Yardsley. You're always a prodigious and welcome sight.
Oh, yes. Always a pleasure to see you, too.
Paradise burns. Thanks to Ludwine and the Steel Garrote laying siege to it. But the Dream Scourge is gone.
She must have come back to life. Again. I suppose we couldn't be lucky enough for her to stay dead.
It's remarkable how hard you mortals fight for causes that'll be forgotten within centuries. Still, I do think the world has been irrevocably, if minimally, changed by your actions. A tsunami inevitably rejoins the ocean as simple water. The analogy only really works if you're mortal. And I'm not. It is indeed. I'll admit, I almost miss it. The mystery, the days of research. Now we're back to simple mortal drama. Perhaps. A new god being set loose on the world is certain to have consequences. Mostly, I'm curious about whether you think you've made the right choice. Wise answer, that. I am interested in seeing the outcome of your story, Envoy. With luck, it won't end with you also on fire. Unfortunately, you'll likely be dead the next time I return to the Living Lands. Goodbye, Envoy. And Yardsley, I do look forward to when all of this is done. I am eager to work with you.
Oh, yes. We'll, discuss that later.
Shall ripple across the Living Lands.
If we make it out of this...
Oh, Envoy, how good to see you here as we stand together at the brink of this historic event. I don't know if thank you is precisely what I want to say, but I am grateful to you for bringing Dolna's theft to light. Paradise burns from the torches of the Steel Garrote. The people of the Living Lands stand ready to defend their home. Yes, what happens in Paradise now will decide the fate of the Parkrunen after all.
What's the plan if Paradise falls?
We will find a way to persevere. We Parkrunen have a gift for surviving inhospitable conditions, and always have. Whatever the outcome of the upcoming battle, do not forget us. I fear that more than our deaths. If Aedyr and the Steel Garrote have their way, they'll strip the history books of any mention of our culture and our ways. Future generations will only ever know us as an appendage of the Empire. I hope it doesn't come to that. It is all I can ask for. That's as much as I'll say. You have a role in deciding what happens next. Do the right thing, Envoy. Let history remember you for the correct reasons.
Giata, where have you been?
Where haven't I been? I journeyed to the heart of the living lands, where time held its breath, and dreams had more substance than reality.
May I see it?
No?
Envoy, I'm
How is Emerald Stair? More importantly, how are you?
thriving on both counts. I'm happy to report. My revenants were just getting comfortable in Thirdborn when the Steel Garrote stepped out of line. When I heard tensions were brewing, I thought to myself, this is a job for the undead. So I gathered the flock. Likewise. I'll keep them on a tight leash, just in case the Steel Garrote breach our defenses. Better to have them and not need them. Oh, and I've been meaning to thank you. Whatever you did in the garden seems to have worked. Emerald Stair is healing, believe it or not. Once this is over, our crops will flourish like never before. Easier said than done, I suppose. Best of luck out there. And don't worry about a thing.
Thank you, Aedyr. My compliments to the flock, as always.
I wasn't worried until she said that. Let's get out of here.
Enjoy the time with your flock, dearie. Try to keep them out of the other camps.
Who knows? Maybe all this will make a hero out of him.
We don't need more here. We need everything. Come back,
If you're wounded, find a place to lie. If I seem distracted, I apologize. Believe it or not, unfortunately. I suppose I've earned.
Sound advice. A good commander knows when people are at their limit.
Do we even know what we're doing here?
We'll be lucky to make it out of here alive.
The time for standing by is over. Do not allow your differences to blind you to the real threat.
Envoy? Is it really you? Mihala told us you went into some place called the Garden to seek a god?
When you didn't return, we took you for dead.
What did you see there? The god you felt in Nokutadek?
It's too preposterous to believe. How could a plague be ended by speaking with a god?
Everyone, please, please. We could get to the bottom of this if you would only let them speak.
It's been weeks, Envoy. What happened? Finally, a ray of sunlight shines through the storm cloud.
I will not grovel at the envoy's feet for solving a plague I am not convinced was real.
Consider yourself blessed to be so ignorant, then. Thirdborn lost more good people than wardens with wits.
You know nothing of me or my people, you fucking pirate!
Warden Commander, look around you. Is this really the time?
We believe the Dream Scourge was a malady of the soul. How did you put an end to it, Envoy?
Sapadal was responsible for the Dream Scourge. Their rage, their confusion, their fear.
So you say. But Shatterscarp is still littered with dream thralls, and Temerity is still pacing her room, muttering in the dark.
There won't be any new infections. We've put a stop to that for good. Unfortunately, there's little we can do for those already in the grip of the Dream Scourge. We can give them comfort, nothing more. This will be a process. The Dream Scourge was never going to simply go away overnight.
I suppose it stands to reason. I found that a quick fix is often anything but. What of this god, then? What does it mean that you freed them? Ludwine had intimated that this land grew a new god. But how can that be?
Giada and I have some theories about the nature of the Aedyr in the Living Lands.
I'd say we're past the point of theorizing.
If the Aedyr here is a closed system, like a terrarium for our souls, then a gradual accumulation of essence could coalesce into a being in the beyond.
Much like the formation of gemstones.
Wodka no doubt saw Sapadal as a threat to her authority. So, she killed the godless and imprisoned their god.
I assume it is this god we have to thank for the roots tearing apart Paradise? They erupted from the earth the moment those bastards stood up their first siege tower.
Nakutedek was riven with those things, not to mention what they did to the land.
Similar roots had infected the structures at Naku Kubel. If they and the Dream Scourge were really the work of a god, and the gods thought it best to imprison this god, how could you let such a creature go free?
For now. Who's to say they don't get their feathers in a ruff again and wipe us all out with a tsunami?
It was Aedyr's arrival that disturbed Sapadal. We'll have nothing to fear from this god once we expel you from our lands.
Having Sapadal at our beck and call might be to our advantage. I'd like to see Rauatai try to stand toe-to-toe against a god.
Keeping watch over Sapadal was a sacred task Nandru gave us when he left. For that reason alone, my wardens owe them their allegiance.
Well, whatever happens, I suppose we can't put the godling back in the bottle now.
But come, we have more pressing matters to attend to. The Steel Garrote have attacked Paradise. Inquisitor Ludwine has already joined the battle. She must have traveled like the wind to get here so fast. Well, you might not believe me, but I didn't want any of this to happen. It was Ludwine who called for the attack.
I didn't hear an answer, Ambassador.
She and her Steel Garrote laid siege to the city, shortly after you beat her to the garden.
Because a victory here would discourage resistance elsewhere. The better question is, why didn't you stop her?
Excuse me? She's a 7-foot-tall skeleton powered by her devotion to the goddess of retribution.
This isn't my fault.
Sure. Just blame the dead woman. Very mature.
Who else should I blame exactly? Our envoy, perhaps? For not stopping Ludwig and the Tusks?
You could start with blaming your own incompetence.
Ludwig's the muscle. I'm merely the personality. What was I supposed to do? Frown her into submission?
What good are you as a diplomat if you can't even keep your own beast under control?
The Inquisitor was so convinced the Living Lands would unite against Aedyr that she's nearly made it true. One people, one law, one true God. That's Ludwig's vision for the Living Lands.
That's what Ludwig thinks. Aedyr doesn't revere Wodica as fervently as it once did. Worship of Mogrin, Berith, even Aethys has gained a foothold. Many no longer trust that the gods are listening. Some question whether they guide the wheel at all. The Empire lost its foothold in the Eastern Reach. The well-bred avoid child-rearing in pursuit of cosmopolitan pleasures. The Church is weak against them, in a world of soul against soul. Ludwig believes we have lost ours. The Empire must change, or it will die.
How could I know what paths her convictions would take her down? You and I both know she is not the only one in the Empire who feels this way. Even the Emperor can see, in some sense, that she's right. Why else would we be here? What passes between Ludwig and her men, or between Ludwig and the Emperor, for that matter, is not my affair. But if I had to guess, this was the alternative.
Your empire is doing what it does best. Stamping out dissent until surrender is the only option.
Your republics are hardly any different. Their intentions in the Deadfire were certainly not pure.
As you say, we left the Republic.
I've answered your questions. Now I would like you or... Ludwig has sent a message to the Emperor informing him of her attack. He will send advisors and reinforcements swiftly in response. What will his representatives find when they arrive? A new colony? A budding grave room? Before you face Ludwig, you should know what you're fighting for. All of you must decide, together. But whatever you decide, understand, the days of the frontier are done. Aedyr will come. Well, don't leave me in suspense.
Oh, gods have mercy.
You can count on Thirdborn. Our cannons stand with the Living Lands.
Fjord and her animancers stand with the Living Lands.
We deserve this opportunity. Thank you for believing in us.
Fighting a battle together is easy. I just hope everyone's willing to stick it out when it comes to the politics.
God, they made the right decision for once.
Finally, some sense permeates the proceedings.
On your head be the consequences. That leaves the matter of Ludwig and the Steel Garrote. She will never surrender, Envoy. You must kill her, or we will lose Parody. So long as her passion for...
Then we destroy her faith, and the rest of her will follow. I have a theory about this. Let's talk at
It is not...
The Living Lands will never be free until we break the chain around our necks.
She better say her...
I'm proud to fight.
Let's get to work then.
The Paradise Militia will be at your back. Give her no quarter. The future waits for you.
Show them that the living lands will not be broken across Vodka's knee.
We will send reinforcements to help you reclaim the Eastern Gate. From there, work... May all the...
Let's... Can't sleep? We're going into battle for the soul of the living. Your political influence is dangerous. When a godlike fights in battle, people take note of which side. The Aedyrans will doubt your loyalty. The locals will doubt your commitment. This is the first time you were... All we ask in return. From what I understand, your ambassador is very... For a politician like him, losing a battle is not a when he promises you the world, don't listen. I'm glad. Time for you to get... In truth, I've been thinking about the Inquisitor. A Death Guard clings to their existence by force of will. Ludwig is held together by... Precisely. Faith is the foundation of her reality. Faith, but according to her faith, Sapadal should not exist. A new god independent of hers? Blasphemy. By that logic, you shouldn't exist either. And yet here you are. Yes, but she's weaker than she knows. If not in body, then in spirit. You are the godlike of a heretical god, a contradiction to her reality. Can you imagine how much she needs you to die? Who knows? Maybe or maybe not. Whatever happens. If I must.
Well, we're doing this. Are you okay? Well, what's the point of living if you don't have those little doubts? Thinking back on all we've done. We went to the garden. We both learned that... Oh. No. How could anyone, darling? And that's skipping to the end. I mean, think of all we've done. You saved Fjord from the clutches of the Steel Garrote. I wish I could have seen the look on Ludwig's face at that. What's left of her face, I mean. And though I may mourn the loss of Nakukubel, I can't deny that Thirdborn is safe now. Who would have thought I'd be here, fighting with an Aedyran? Oh, truly. As weird as you are, Envoy. Well, how can I... Sweet dreams.
We should take a moment. You liberated the god. That's quite... Just be careful. I want you to... If I must.
I'll keep watch.
You should get... Well, I'm just fine. More or less. I've been in a lot of dangerous situations, but it's always been a fight to survive. It's just a fight. Putting my life on the line for someone else's cause. It's the opposite of survival. It's foolishness. You helped me through some rough Sokka, Envoy. Your cause became my cause at that point. We're about to go out there and risk our lives for, what? A concept of how things ought to be? We might die, all to determine who sleeps in the nicest house in Paradise until the island decides it's time for a change. It's fine. Really. Right. Careful you don't get stuck in all that sap.
That'll teach you! We shall tear your enemies apart.
Nice shot! Nothing like a win with a good team.
Go ahead. I'll hang back and watch the gate.
For our freedom!
That's done? Who's hungry?
Show yourself. Aha! Get off me!
Envoy over here. What exactly do you think you're doing?
Liviana, don't you ever take a break?
You nearly died in my clinic. Correction, you did die. And now look at you, fighting the steel garrote. What have you got to say for yourself? Well, at least you're alive. Try and keep it that way. Kai, is this your doing?
Come on. I couldn't have kept him out of the action if I wanted to.
I knew you were a bad influence. We're patching up folks as best we can, but I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. War is a damn bloody mess. Yeah, stop the fighting. I can't say I approve of you leaping into the fray, but it's always nice catching up with a former patient. Gods be with you, Envoy. For my sake, try not to die a second time.
Come on. You know this. Practice with Uncle Capo 100 times. Tight, but not too tight. You don't want to cut off the blood flow. Godlike! Paradis could use your help.
Envoy!
Seamless metal!
Taking the main plaza. I'll stay behind. Just don't do anything foolish.
Let me out!
Stay down. Ludwine's lost it. She's hunting everyone and everything, even you.
Rhode demands your submission. Stand against her and fall.
That's Ludwine ahead. Lead on. I'm with you to the end.
She could use some payback for Naku Bell, don't you think? Let's make sure she's stayed. He's dead this time, all right, dearie?
There you are!
So, you survived the garden. Did you come all this way just to try your luck again? To kill me more efficiently than last time? You'll get your chance.
Then what are you waiting for?
Look around, Envoy. Heelguard should have listened. He tried to bring order through compromise. He failed. Order is meant to be imposed by a stern, guiding hand.
Her order wields sharp steel. She must set down her blade.
Oh, but it is. Some wounds must be cauterized in order to heal.
Cauterized? Your troops have nearly burned Paradise to the ground.
The only question is, what's to be done with you? You, who were once so bright and promising. Sapodal's chains are broken, which means your soul is in their grasp. I don't know how deeply you've been compromised, Envoy. And if I don't know, then I cannot suffer you to live. Do not patronize me. I have every right to put down a threat to the Empire. Steel yourself, Envoy. Make this a fight to remember, even in death.
We would not welcome her death. There is still ample shade for her beneath our tree.
You will. You must. You have no choice. Face me and die with honor, or fall to your knees and die as a coward. How you die doesn't matter, but you will die. Every vestige of Sapadal must be wiped from this earth. The Burned Queen demands it.
We are a challenge to her authority. She is afraid of what we mean.
The Burned Queen doesn't need to sully her power with mortal concerns. Not when she can rely on me. I will pursue her ambitions until my bones grind themselves to dust. While you are little more than a nursemaid to your diseased false god. Hear me, Envoy. I am the avatar of the Burned Queen, the goddess of retribution. I am her sword arm, her will in the world. And so long as I can fight, I will be her champion.
But she failed to ensnare the living lands, and we are free. How long until Rhode finds a new avatar?
Temporary setbacks. The war for the living lands can still be won. And if I must stand alone, I will die. I believe that when the time came for you to prove your loyalty, I believed that. And if that failed, yet.
The worm of doubt gnaws at her soul. Where was Rhode when she needed her most? Where is she now?
No! The Burned Queen witness. I can still prevail! I must! I feel her fire in me! I know I do!
Do you?
Rhode, my lady! Where are you?
No answer.
No! It's not true!
Shame. Suffocating shame.
Stop! I can't! No! 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 Forgive me! Rhode!
Wherever Ludwine is now, she must be seething.
Of course, we'd be happy to kill her again, if needed.
She's done for, but we're not. Whatever's next, we'll face it. Together.
Gods, you're all gonna make me sick. But carry on.
Unraveled at last. We no longer feel her wire against our flesh. We are free always. We are free forever.
Silence falls over Paradise, as though the city is holding its breath. Then you hear it, the ringing of a distant bell, the waving of banners, and cheers of victory. After a short and bloody conflict, the dust has finally begun to settle. You feel Sapodal close to your thoughts, stirring with interest. The god of the living lands is observing this moment, unfettered by confusion or fear. For the first time in centuries, they understand. The Paradise militia rallies to you, the outsider who defended them in their hour of need. Whatever happens next, you have won their confidence. You take a moment to reflect on the calm. Not so long ago, you arrived at these shores on a simple errand, which turned out to be anything but simple. The Dream Scourge is over, and the island has been cleansed of plague. A time of healing and mourning follows. People look to you for answers about the source of the affliction. You tell them the truth, how the plague came from a power beyond mortal understanding, and how it is finally at peace. Thanks to you, the living lands has escaped Aedyran oppression. The free settlements unite under a common banner and begin the fraught process of negotiating new traditions and values. The Empire withdraws. The frontier remains wild, but not for long. Paradise's rebels cannot accept your version of independence. After the assassin Egwulf died in custody, only a few of his people ally themselves with the United Settlements. To them, you will always be the oppressor. The refugees of Emerald Stair resettle in Thirdborn, bringing their skills and research to aid the local community. What starts as an uneasy partnership blossoms into a bond of trust. Through shared adversity, they find common ground. In time, the people of Emerald Stair return to their city of Fior Messiverno. Research yields new developments in the struggle against nature. Technology is shared among the United Settlements. The Empire cannot get in the way of progress. Though free, Shatterscarp is still haunted by the surviving Dream Thralls after the destruction of Naku Kubel. The routine hunt for the remaining monsters becomes part of Thirdborn's everyday life, another chore atop a hardscrabble existence with few comforts. The youthful make a game of the hunt, retrieving artifacts from the dead to return to those they left behind. The loss of both the Keep and her oldest friend drive Mihala into a grief so absolute that she cannot face the world or her own people. But the Pargrunen rally around their leader by focusing upon a single endeavor, building a new settlement from the ruins of the old one. Inspired by her people, Mihala returns to herself and to her seat at the council. The doors of this new settlement slowly inch open, a tentative welcome to the once forsaken world. For the first time in many years, Kai feels an agreeable restlessness. Not to flee, not to drift, but to venture. He visits the distant shores Tama told him about, and savors the modern marvels, ancient wonders, and breathtaking expanses he beholds. His heart swells, not with grief, but with awe. There is so much to discover, and he will spend his years chasing all of the joy and beauty the world has to offer him. With many of his anxieties and lifelong fears addressed, Marius now feels very differently than he did when he first met the envoy. Still far more comfortable in the wilds than among people, he nonetheless finds that his worries about the unknown were merely self-protection against the traumas of his childhood. Armed with this knowledge, he finds himself more capable of living in civilization, and far less fearful of his home in Galawain's tusks. With Solace gone, however, Marius never has a chance to reconcile with his people. Outside of a few travelers here and there, his connection with the Wardens is completely lost. Giada continues to improve as an animancer. She dedicates her work to the spiritual health of the living lands, nurturing instead of exploiting. Others follow her example, seeking her tutelage from lands far and wide. In the years to come, rumors spread of a secret society gathering in the wilderness, where animancers work in harmony with nature. The dream of Fior Mes Iverno lives on in her. No longer under the threat of imminent death, Yatsley returns to the Animancers. Reunited with her beloved Quilici, she helps him and the Animancers as they put their lives together after the attack on Fior Mes Iverno. Eventually, she even has something nice to say to Vidaro. As the days pass in contentment and relative peace, Yatsley is struck by the persistent feeling that something is missing. Though she still devotes herself to her studies of both the arcane and the godless, the restlessness never goes away. Freed from torment for the first time in centuries, Sapadal turns their prodigious curiosity to the people that shaped them. They observe the ways their people live, and they think deeply about what they see. Though they flinch away from moments of violence, and they grieve souls returned to them too soon, the rage that once shook cities to rubble no longer rules them. Instead, they come to you with questions. They want to understand. After a time, they begin, tentatively, to garden. Where they can, they improve the lives of Kith, and the suffering that troubled them is reduced, if never fully eradicated. Their grief compels them to love, and they love unreservedly, with the power of a god. Sapadal has questions about what happens tomorrow, and the day after. You do your best to keep them calm, until the voice in your head is little more than a polite whisper. After everything you've been through, you don't mind the company. The sounds of celebration pull you out of reverie. Many are waiting to greet you with open arms. You take a moment to catch your breath and savor it, because everything is about to change.